What is going on, guys? How are you doing? It is Sunday, so as you know, we're going to be doing a lot of reading, just looking at our plan for tomorrow, and I've already plotted where we have potential pullbacks, if we have kind of this range day, or if we continue to go down. Now, when the market opened at 6 p.m., we got a gap down, actually, in continuation. So right now we're waiting for it to find its legs. This is not the time to get in. Had you caught it when the market first opened, it maybe would have been not a bad play. As of right now, as much as I want to get in, because obviously, after a long weekend, now you want to jump back in and get, back to making some money. I don't want to force anything, and I don't want to be two losses in a row, be under 50K or under 51K almost, and now roll into Monday and miss opportunities because I am, a little gun shy or not taking, the kind of risk I need to be taking. So we're going to assess it. I want to walk you through what I'm looking for on TradingView. I think it makes it most easiest. I've got, obviously, just to kind of talk about my indicators, I've got the VWAP. I've got a weekly on, which I think just for confluence purposes obviously gives me a better idea of where obviously your average weighted price is at. On the weekly sessions they can be very tricky, but it just is something else to help you kind of verify, okay, we are going in the proper direction, or maybe I'm going a little bit counter to the trend overall on the 1 hour or the 4 hour. So when I have the weekly on here, it gives me a good kind of general biased, if you will, of what the higher time frame looks like. So if I have a weekly on and I see that we're underneath a weekly VWAP, it's telling me that we are overall on our way down, but we could pull back and push back up to VWAP levels, which is what it looks like it's doing right now. We're sitting at 53.1975 currently. I have levels on intraday supply and demands that I am playing off of, but again, we're not really using these. Let me say that correctly. Not that we're not using, but we're not using these lines that we get necessarily on Sunday until tomorrow, until all that is established. And then when 8:30 rolls around and we start looking for particular plays, 9:30 rolls around, and then when the market is kind of settled in, there is no news tomorrow besides, I think there's one red folder, which is ISM services. It'll move it. It doesn't move it anything crazy, not FOMC, and not anything like that. So we tread obviously cautiously because we don't want to get whipsawed, but we wait. That is coming out at 10 a.m. So you figure after that, 10, 10:05, 10:10, it's figuring out where it wants to go. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution, if you will. There's typically, it's going to find a range because it's going to accumulate orders and stay in sort of a range, but that is when we can capitalize. So I want to go over, we talked about what the entries were yesterday. We talk about what I'm looking for, the setups, I should say, and what the plays are in the actual playbook, but now it's about executing. So I'm just going to turn the chart really quickly. We've got the 1 minute up currently. We got the 5 minute up. And I want you to take a peek at this. We'll look at the higher time frames, but I've already got lines marked off. And this will be a short one, but I just want to show you what I'm looking for tomorrow as far as ES goes, because that is what I am looking at predominantly. I do want to find markets that are in play. So it's going to allow me to take advantage of these break and retests, these supply and demand trades, these just different opportunities, the broken slot machine, if you will, for me to capitalize and make money. But, I truly am a advocate and believer in, if I can trade these intraday levels and I figure out how to read the tape well enough where I can take, even if it's 5 or 6, ticks or 7 ticks or a couple points, 10 ticks, 2 points, 8 point, 2 points. Yeah. Here and there, those are the things that are most important to me, because as long as I'm able to continue to ring the cash register and I know that what I'm seeing is what's working, then I know that I'm going in the right direction. I know that sounds a little bit like, well, yeah, no duh, but ultimately, guys, you don't need to be looking at, this is an opinion, and I'm not anybody who is trying to stand on his soapbar and go, well, I've made X amount of money, so this is, again, you come here to understand that this is the ebbs and flows of I'm gaining confidence, I'm gaining proficiency, I'm getting over this 50K challenge. I'm probably going to go ahead and get another 50K challenge as well to potentially group trade with or try some other strategies with, just to kind of, you're putting skin in the game, but ultimately it's still OPM and using other people's money to be able to capitalize on market moves. So that's what we're looking for. In no shape or form, even if I saw the best opportunity right now on a Sunday, post-market, if you will, or when the market first opens up on the Sunday, as we roll into Sunday night and then Monday morning, that's not, you're going to get once in a while these, that was an easy one, situations. But I think knowing who you are, knowing what time you want to get in, knowing when you want to execute is the most important thing. And so when you can find proficiency in that in a singular market, then once you have your strategies, you've back tested, you know that it works. That is when you can turn around and go, you know what? Let me look at what NQ looks like now, because as you guys know, I've traded that in the past. Let me look at what gold looks like now, because I've traded that in the past. Let's look at YM. That's the one that I've probably read the tape more than anything, but ES is very clean. There's not a whole lot of fake outs unless there's a huge red folder news catalyst that is going to move the market in a certain way. It's not really anything that's going to, do something like an NQ, because NQ obviously is, NASDAQ, which is tech stocks. I'm sorry. And can just whipsaw you. It can be making its normal move, but it pulls down, 10, 20 points, goes and grabs liquidity and continues on its way. But it's just very vicious. You got to know what you're doing. And, I feel like I'm a little bit more proficient right now in ES. I think where I'm at, that's me being able to look myself in the mirror and go, listen, you're going to keep running your head into this wall. It's not to say that you won't continue to get better and build strategies around what works with NQ, but I think that is what's key. Is I need to be able to build strategies once I feel confident enough and I've gotten some payouts from ES and I really start to grow even more and more confident on things, that, okay, I'm going to take a step into this market. Now, because I know that I need to have wider stops than 250. 250 is not enough, just based off my experience. And so those will be things that I would adjust. But maybe I do that with an account that is a little bit more capitalized, that's got a little bit more capital in it, and not be trying to squeeze a 1 to 4, 250 risk for $1,000 take profit on NQ. I'm not saying that it isn't or is possible, but this is something that I have experienced. This is just what I feel is best for me right now. I want to master this one particular market. I want to get as good as I can get, and then from there we will start to lean into some of these other markets as well. So ES right now is the one that we're looking at. I'm going to show you kind of just what my setup looks at. You will see these TPO, which is the time profile, to the left, which shows where the most volume was, and then you're going to see a red line, which is the POC, which is point of control. Across there, the orange thick bar is the weekly VWAP, and then you've got obviously just indecision levels, and I've got intraday supply and demand levels, marked off. So take a peek. So right here, as you can see, you've got the TPO off to the left, right? This is the gap down, obviously, that we got. So if you notice, if I scroll up a little bit here as well, you're going to notice that this purple line up here is close of Friday's candle. So that right, if it would clear up for me, there we go. This is the close of Friday's candle. So that right there tells me, okay, we very well, even if we have all this noise going on where we have gapped down and come here, more than likely it wants to get back up here. Now, when the market opens, we could be making big moves. Overnight, we could be making massive moves to get back up here. Now, when the market opens, you could have passive sellers sitting up above this and then defend it and push it right back down, and we start to hit back into these other intraday supply and demand levels. However, this is what we're looking at currently right now. This is the 1 hour. As you can see, I already had this descending trend line here with 3 touches that I was waiting for the break, but look what happened. Obviously, market opens on Sunday afternoon, today at 6, and then here we go. Let me move this TPO so you guys can see what this market is doing currently, but there it is, right? I've put this solid orange line here because this is that's not the weighted volume. That is, oh yeah, it is. I'm sorry, that is. Yeah, it is. So that is actually the volume. For whatever reason, I thought that I had put a vertical line for the 6 p.m., open. But no, that is the weekly VWAP. So when you're underneath that, notice, as we look at it from the 1 minute, now we get a better idea of, okay, more than likely it's going to try to test this. If we stay under this, that will obviously give us an indication that sellers are in control. As you see right now, we are still in control. Sellers are really, heavy here. Now we start to bounce back up, and look, now we're getting some rejection. We've tested this line, and it looks like we're going to get some failure here and start to make our way back down. So these are the levels, the intraday levels that I have marked off. If you go to higher time frames like the 5 minute, you get a little bit clearer picture of kind of what's going on. I have a note here that just says, it's Friday. I want to be cautious, not getting in premature. We opened, as you can see, we went for the lows, grabbed highs as well. And we are 7 minutes from 10 a.m. and we should hopefully have a better idea of where the market would like to go here soon. So that was Friday's note that I had put in there. So I'm going to just go ahead and delete that off. But I know it's kind of a lot going on, guys, but I want you guys to understand that everything has a rhyme or reason. The intraday levels that I am looking for are simply this. If I get let's go to the 1 minute just to give you guys an idea. Okay, let me take this off quickly. Because what I do with my boxes is I am marking them off where I see a indecision candle or a doji candle, and then I am going to see an engulfing past that is the one that I am going to mark off. So I'm going to use this as an example. I see one right here. Boom. Right here. Now notice how I have them that go extended to the right. That doji candle and then an engulfing of the bullish candle. Look at this. First touch, kissed it, and then continuation. Push, hits it again, push back up. If we started to break below this or a candle was formed, and I'm going to just draw like a candle, okay, just kidding, I lied. Let me, I know there's got to be like some sort of candle. I'm just going to draw something. All right, just bear with me. If there was a candle that closed below this, like so, then this is when we would start to realize that this is the first weakness. Now there might be a tide shift, meaning buyers are maybe no longer in control. When we start to peak out like this underneath this zone, this is going to be the first telltale. So I'm already going to mark this off and go, okay, we need to be watching for this. This bounce, we continued. Let's see if we have any more doji candles and then engulfings. Okay, even this one is like a miniature one. Boom. Here. Okay, what happens? We get up here. What's it do? Gets very close. Okay, but you see continuation. We get back up here. Okay, you could probably mark this one off as more of like a supply. But now we start to take it down. Now look what happens. We hit into this. Okay, you're expecting a balance and see continuation. Now what is it telling me? Right here in this area, we are now seeing that sellers are taking control again. We've broken underneath. We go down, look, there's that box here, but there's also another one right here, doji candle with an engulfing. What's it do? It touches this. Now we found a bit of a range or accumulation or bouncing. That looked like when the candle was forming, it was going to get underneath here, but it didn't. We started continuing to the upside. We bounced, we hit this supply, and we rejected. So now it's confirming, okay, in fact, supply is here. Sellers are here. Now we start to push this thing back down. If we break underneath this, now we're going to take it to the next level that we find. Now, normally you're going to look left and see if there's any type of doji candle that we can find. Now, yes, in theory, you could mark this one off right here. It's not much of a doji candle, but look, we get here, and as we break here, look what happens. We start to get rejection. Right where these wicks were previously, we hit off of this area, and then now we're trying to figure out, are sellers going to still be in control or not? Accumulation, look at this, and we're starting to break underneath. So more than likely, we're going to get continuation down into this level at minimum, and then maybe an upside push overnight. So those are just like quick little intraday things that I'm looking for when I'm trading. I want to be able to walk you through this. It's the system that I feel has worked for me. I want you guys to obviously find your own system as well. Don't just take what I do and, take it for law, because it doesn't necessarily work for everybody. I'm starting to realize why when I was early in trading, as some of you guys are more experienced than I am even. But I realized early, like, why do traders always say, don't use whatever strategy you want to use, it's about you, this, that, and the other. And now, in these days, I start to realize and start to understand that from a deeper sense of, I can sit here all day and spend 40 minutes on here and talk to you guys about my strategy. I think I've done that a good amount. I think if you guys go to my past videos, you guys will see kind of my style or flavor of trading, if you will. Don't allow my, me not having payouts right now be the only thing you think about of like, well, what's he have? Materialistic wise, what's he have in order for me to be following what he's doing or the trading that he's doing? Remember, this is nothing but a video log of what's going on in here, the books that I'm reading, how I'm getting better, how I'm improving on my day-to-day, and how I'm going to continue to progress and get better each and every day. You have to understand that. You always have to preface it that way, because when it all comes together and when profitability does follow, which it will, just, spoiler alert, I'm not going to stop doing this. So as I continue to pick up more books, as I continue to mingle with more like-minded traders, as I get just better at reading the market and reading the tape, and it happens, all of a sudden my strategy becomes the best thing, since sliced bread. It's not that. I'm mastering who I am. I know that when I had to go take that run, I know that if I do two bad trades back to back, I now know I flip into some mode of like, I'm trying to convince my own self that I am poised, but I'm not, and I'm going to add size because I'm going to try to make it all back. And when I do, I'm going to be like, see, and I'm telling myself and justifying with myself that I told you can win that back. And that is the worst way of thinking. And so this is what I mean by, you may have seen, these kind of strategies, break and retest, ascending, descending trendline breaks, supply and demand, inverse H, which is just a break, retest and continuation above that neckline, the last higher high or lower low, whatever, direction that we're going. And you might go, yeah, Julian, I know all those. Yeah, but any course that you buy, and this is, again, guys, this is me learning this as well, that like, it's not going to take, I'm always a student. Let's be clear of something. I think that's why I will have a very enormous amount of success in this market, is because I'm never, like, fuck the ego. I'm like, excuse my French, I don't know how else to say that. Like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if it's a kid. I don't give a shit if it's a 15-year-old, 16-year-old who knows something I don't know in the markets. I want to know what he knows. And I'm okay to go find and put my ego aside and not go, oh, well, you haven't accomplished what I accomplished. No. He's doing something I'm not doing. So I need to figure out what that is. And then I need to backtest it myself to find out. Stay a student and stay humble. So that goes with the sizing you put on, because now you've won 10 in a row and you don't even register fear. You don't even register downside. You don't even register the negatives. And you must just put one foot in front of the other, continue to make really good, savvy trades, and be able to separate the trade that I just had is not predicated on the result that I'm going to have in this next one. That's what I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? As time goes. And when you master that is when you start to see profitability. It's not necessarily that anything, you're refining and defining your strategy that you already have or that you feel confident in. And I know that right now, year 2 and some change is not going to be the same year 4.5, year 5. I might be able to look at charts naked or have no VWAP or just have just VWAP or whatever and be able to execute and make more money than I could have ever dreamed of in the span of 15, 30, an hour, 4-hour time frame. But I need you to understand that there is a progression there. And so the scoreboard is, who keeps score? The market. When you're losing money, you're wrong about your idea. If I put on too much size, sometimes you don't have the ability to be wrong and stay wrong because you need to get out or you're going to blow your account. So you can't be in so much size. And this is something that I've had to learn the hard way, because I've just continued to throw money at these accounts. And then I'm like, what is going on? Like, why am I not progressing? Why do I feel like I'm not getting better? When in reality, it has nothing to do with getting better or not getting better. It means that I am learning how to take smaller losses, learning how to take bigger wins, and not afraid to add size, because I've never been afraid to add size. Throwing 30 contracts on Apex on a $300,000 account has never been a problem for me. The numbers really don't scare me. It's just, but I have to be able to not take huge losses and be able to cut a loss, see what I'm saying, quickly. If I'm going to risk that much, then I need to be in a situation where I am going a 1 to 2 tick risk. That's it. On 30 contracts, trust me, plenty of room. If I'm not immediately correct, I need to be out of the position. I'm not trying to wait. If this thing bursts above where I entered or goes below where I entered in a bad way, not in a positive way, I'm going to feel pain right away. And I'm going to go right to, I suck, I'm no good, I knew I couldn't do this, I knew. So slow down. Right now, I'm trying to like drive the Lambo in a school zone, and it's like, it doesn't work like that. Because right now, you're still learning how to be proficient, like, and just drive around the community. You want to go fast? Okay, you need to be risk management and risk to reward need to be that much more locked in. And so hopefully this helps. Hopefully this is just a little kind of reminder of, don't look at social media to tell you how much progress you are having or how far behind you are, all your peers. Don't do that, because a lot of the stuff is fake. A lot of the stuff is, they're not putting in the work. A lot of these people are not putting their real money on the line. A lot of these people are going demos. A lot of these people are going to go demos, get proficient in demo because there's no emotion, come up with a decent strategy that works here and there, and then go buy my course. And that's how they're making money. So as long as you know that, then you can now push all the BS, to the side and just go and attack, what it is that you are trying to do. And for me, it's mastering these markets, and it's mastering them the right way, the mundane way. As I've told you before, and I'll continue to say again, I'm not so interested in trying to put videos up that are, catchy, that are, SEO rich and keywords and this whole thing. And trust me, I do my research, because I'm like, I got to figure out how to get the page. I know that this video can help somebody, and the videos that I've put up, the 100-some videos that I put up every day, I know there's a video in there that somebody, that's the thing that's going to flip the switch. And I hope that I can be of assistance to traders. But I also know that you guys will follow me more intent, with more intensity and more intent when you see me profitable. That's just the name of the game. So stay with me. I hope that you guys can enjoy this and watch this process along the way, and also be here at the beginning when there was no profit, when there was, what do I do? Beat my head up against the wall. Let me figure this out. I hope you guys are here during this process. And if you're hearing me now, you are. So when we get on the other side of things, I want you to be a part of that journey. I do. So I love you guys. Let's go ahead and dive into the word super quickly. We are on Matthew chapter... Wait, hold on. We did empty promises, did we not? Yes. Okay, so love your enemies. Here's another old saying that deserves a second look. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth. Is that going to get us anywhere? Here's what I propose. Don't hit back at all. If someone strikes you, stand there and take it. If someone drags you into court and sues for the shirt off your back, gift wrap your best coat and make them present of it. And if someone takes unfair advantage of you, use the occasion to practice the servant life. No more tit for tat stuff, live generously. You're familiar with the old written law, love your friend and its unwritten companion. Hate your enemy, I'm challenging that. I'm telling you to love your enemy. Let them bring out the best in you, not the worst. When someone gives you a hard time, respond with the energies of prayer. For then you are working out your true selves and your God-created selves. This is what God does. He gives his best, and the sun to warm and the rain to nourish to everyone regardless. The good and the bad, the nice and nasty. If all you do is love the lovable, do you expect a bonus? Anybody can do that. If you simply say hello to those who greet you, do you expect a medal? Any run-of-the-mill sinner can do that. In a word, what I'm saying is grow up. Your kingdom subjects. Now live like it. Your kingdom subjects. Now live like it. Live out your God-created identity. Live generously and graciously towards others in the way God lives towards you. Say it with me if you know it. You are uniquely different. God took his time on you. You are one of one. If nobody's told you today, I love you so much. Peace.